You are listening to the audio portion of the QB Power Hour webinar series. The QB Power Hour is a free bi-weekly webinar series for accounting professionals presented by Michelle Long and Dan DeLong, who are very passionate about the industry, QuickBooks, and apps that integrate with QuickBooks. You can find out all the details about the webinar series at qbpowerhour.com. So without further ado, here's Michelle and Dan.
Welcome everybody to another QB Power Hour. Today's topic is QuickBooks Connect Recap. We're very glad to have you joining us. Heather, next.
Yes, there you go.
Thank you. So my name is Michelle Long. I'm a CPA and owner of Long for Success. Thrilled to be a trainer for Intuit and co-author and author of 5 different books. Glad to have you all joining us for the QB Power Hour and invite you to join us in that Facebook group as well. It's a very active group where we can continue the conversation. Dan, you want to go next?
Yeah. Hey, everyone. This is Dan DeLong, the owner of DanWith, and I was former Intuit tech support and really proficient in all things in the Intuit ecosystem. And I just finished technically editing the QBO for Dummies, and I am humbled to be here with these 2 great Intuit royalty ladies here today.
Boy, you are sucking up today, Dan.
Yes, like what do I want, right?
All right, Heather, thank you for joining us today. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks for having me. My name's Heather Satterley. I have a firm called Satterley Trading and Consulting. In my firm, I focus mostly on helping others select and implement accounting technology. So QuickBooks Online mostly and related third-party apps. I also am the co-host of the QB Happy Hour with Liz and Heather, which is another wonderful free webinar series that happens twice a month on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock Eastern. And we talk about apps. We're almost exclusively apps. Please join us. I am the co-host with Liz Scott, who's my partner. And every webinar, we do an hour of educational training, and then we have an app sponsor come on and show us what they got. So please join us. We do have a cocktail, and you can learn more about that and register for the webinar at qbhappyhour.com. And I am so excited.
Wonderful.
Guys.
Well, I'm really thrilled that you could join us today, so thank you. And we're glad to have you and love what you and Liz are doing with that happy hour. You want to go ahead and go to the next slide?
Sure, of course.
All right, so just for those of you that may not be aware, our power hours are every other Thursday. Unfortunately, next Thursday is Thanksgiving, so we hope you enjoy that with your family, and we won't be doing one next week. But as you can see, we've got some other holidays coming up and some exciting things that we have coming at the beginning of the year especially. And then we're going to do some fun stuff in December. We quite haven't decided our topic, but we will let you know. As always, we cover QuickBooks tips and tricks and what's new, troubleshooting, along with marketing, pricing, apps, and more. So we always love to have you guys join us. There's the link for the slides for the whole year. You can find the slides and the handouts there from all the QB Power Hours for the year. You can find the recordings there, as well as the podcast that Dan's got going for us now. So you can listen to it in your car if you'd like. Next. Oh, and thank you. Diana says, thank you. Thanksgiving is not next week. It's the following week. You're right. It's our next regularly scheduled one. So when we're talking about the upcoming events, I'm not going to repeat all the QB Power Hour stuff there, but Heather and I and the other trainers are still on the road show. We're going to be doing core and advanced certifications all the way through the middle of December or kind of late December. So I would love to have you join us on the road show. Go to qbtrainingevents.com and look to see if we're in a city near you. I know I am going to be going to Portland and DC area as well as Pasadena. Heather, where are you going to be going?
So I'm actually going to be in the Washington, D.C. area the first week of December. So December, I think, 4th and 5th. So if you want to catch
work together on that one.
That'll be awesome. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah. And Heather, would you like to tell them about your upcoming workshop on Zapier? I just think that's awesome what you're doing with Zapier, and it's a great opportunity for people that want to learn more about that. Do you want to share that?
Sure, absolutely. So I teach a 5-week Zapier workshop where I teach mostly accounting professionals, but I do have other small business owners that join. Really teaching people how to use Zapier from the very beginning all the way up to doing some pretty extensive zaps. So it's 1 hour of hands-on training every week. with 30 minutes after each session with office hours. So I can help folks that are taking the workshop kind of work through any issues they're having with apps that they're building. I did just start a new 5-week workshop yesterday, but the good news is if you still wanted to jump in on the training, I do record the sessions, and we have an exclusive Slack workspace where you can access all of the resources, materials, and recordings for that. So if anybody is interested in doing that workshop with me, I do still have some room in the current workshop. Just reach out to me either via chat, or you can go to satterleyconsulting.com, click on classes and webinars, and just send me a quick message, and I can add you to the course.
Wonderful.
If you're not ready to take the full 5-week course, I am going to be doing for the next 2 Tuesdays at 1 o'clock a 30-minute introduction to Zapier session to help people understand what it is and how it can help them both, automate processes in their own practice, and also maybe even step into a consulting role with their clients.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you, Heather. Do you want to go ahead and go to the next slide?
Sure.
All right. So as a reminder, there's that qbtrainingevents.com where you can sign up for free webinars all throughout the month, those in-person live training events that I mentioned, as well as virtual conferences. There's going to be a November VCon coming up. I think it's next week. And then we also will have a December VCon. So great content coming up. Love to have you join us for that. Go ahead and go next.
Sure.
And what we're talking about today, I can't wait for you guys to hear some of this stuff. If you were unable to attend QuickBooks Connect, I'm so glad you're joining us today, because there's some great new things that are coming out for us in accounting tools and QBOA. I'm so excited about it. And then Dan's going to talk about the new payroll lineup and some changes in that area. We'll talk about some of the breakout sessions, the brain dates that they had, as well as some of the keynote speakers. And I'm going to share one kind of embarrassing, very memorable moment that I had from QB Connect. So go ahead and go next, Heather. So next again. So first of all, let's talk about the new features coming in QBOA. So Arij, she's the head of the accountant division, and she was on the main stage sharing what they're working on for us as accounting professionals to help make our lives easier. First of all, I want to point out to you that URL on the top. You can try to sign up to get early access to these tools that they're creating. When you type in that intuit.me/QB/early access, make the QB-early access all lowercase for that to work. Now, I will tell you that Reeve said while she was talking, they had over 800 people sign up. So, you can go ahead and try to get into the testing for that, but I just don't know if I'm even going to get in or Heather is going to get in. So, but go ahead and try to apply for that. So there's 3 new things that are going to be coming: the Optimization Center, the Bookkeeping Review, as well as then the performance, business performance overview. So let's go ahead and talk about each one of these next. So first of all is this Optimization Center, and I think this is pretty cool because it's going to help us as accounting professionals, and it's going to tell us how efficiently we're working within QBOA and in the QBO client files or companies that we have and everything. So if you look on here, you can see under that Optimization Center, you'll see it's got, like, did we manually upload transactions? Did we have transactions that were added from bank rules that were auto-added? How many were reviewed and added, modified and added? And then also like bank rules that weren't applied. And then down there you'll see match transactions. And there's quite a bit more there. And it's trying to tell us how efficient are we. The more tools that we're using, like those bank rules to auto-add transactions, the more efficient we are. And so it's kind of cool because you can see, like, if you're only at 40% efficiency, you've got a lot of opportunities to improve your workflow and to do things more efficiently, saving you time, as well as increasing the accuracy. And so I thought this was really cool. Heather and Dan, you want to have any comments on this one as well?
Yeah, I really like this because it starts off real simple. You go to the home area of the Optimization Center, and it just, or on your client list, and it just gives a rating or a score, and then you can drill into that and find out what is actually driving that score. And you can see here, kind of what things make it optimized. But, when you think about what you don't need to do these days inside of QuickBooks Online, and how you can get QuickBooks Online to make those things happen automatically. That's really what drives that optimization score. So really, you're just you're kind of like a coach to the bookkeeping, as opposed to physically doing the work anymore.
Right. And you can see there after that bank account tab, like the underneath, or the kind of in the middle there, under the optimization center, you'll see the home tab, the bank accounts, which is what's showing the expense tracking tab, as well as income tracking. So are you setting up recurring transactions and things like that? So I think it's pretty cool. And I do have a link in a little bit, because I just have a few screenshots from this, but I have the link to Arija's main stage session. So you all can go back and watch that and learn from her and see more of it. Heather, any comments on this optimization aspect?
Yeah, I love this. I think it's the way I look at this is it's a control panel, right? It's a control panel for accounting professionals and bookkeepers to see what features are actually being utilized. And I think this is going to save practitioners a ton of time when they are quoting their client engagements, because they'll be able to see what automation tools are they already using, and how much time are they going to be able to save their clients, and what is the value of that time that they're going to save once they put all of these amazing tools into action for their client.
And just to kind of re-emphasize, because some people are asking, is it already available? One of the three tools is already available, but this one is not. Typically, when you have new features like this come out, there's going to be a small test group, and that's what you can kind of opt in for with that link, to be on like a beta test of this and provide your feedback about how it works and what you would like to see more of. But more importantly, they just don't want to break anything by adding a new feature and rolling it out, and then now, QuickBooks Online is down. That would be bad.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So it's not available yet, but I think I was trying to remember. They said maybe early next year to roll out. I think, is that you guys remember?
I think that's what they said. Yeah, I think so. So okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one, Heather, and talk about it, because I'm super excited about it as well, and I think you guys will be too. This is a bookkeeping review. This is awesome. Look there. You can see the different tabs: collect client data, resolve common issues, reconcile accounts, and then a final review. So on this one, it's collect client data, and you can see there, like on the expense, if you look over towards the right side, you'll see the issue column. Is this personal or business? On the next one, on that check, and the next one of them's a payee missing, then you see a vendor missing, then you see two at the bottom that are uncategorized income. And check over there on the right side under status. See where it says we sent the request for that. So you can even track, hey, I've asked my client about these two, and you can kind of see the status of it. So I think these things are awesome. And like on that payee or the vendor missing, you could click on that and go right down into that transaction to try to fix it right there. So, or you could send the request to the client to get more information. So I think this is really cool. I can't remember if I put the next one in there on resolve common issues or not, but it helps you all. Go ahead and go next, Heather, and let me see if it's out there, the resolve common issues. I did, great. Oh no, this is still more of the collect client data. Making sure you have all the info where, no, go ahead and go back one, Heather. Yeah, right here. So part of collecting the data, get cash transaction info, approve any new bank rules, check for missing receipts, confirm inventory. You can't see it down at the bottom there, but you are able to add new to-dos. So you can add your own to-dos here on what data do you need to get from the client and what do you need to get from them. And then I love how there's links and actions over there. So you can link to things to help you, again, saving lots of time. So under check for missing receipts, you can see view 18 transactions. You could click that and go right to those transactions and see that. So this is going to help make our job so much easier instead of, having a checklist somewhere else of things that we need to collect from the client. We can add that right in here. And we can also drill right down into the view 18 transactions. And then there's also these other ones here, like on resolve common issues. It will tell you some of the common mistakes that are out there so that you can work on some of those. Then reconciling the accounts, you'll see details there and a final review. So I think this is awesome to help us manage our workflow, to see things all right here, be more efficient, and not have to remember to do things because it's all right here, like on a checklist built into QBOA with links to the transactions and the data. So I was super excited about this one. Heather, what were your thoughts?
So I love this so much. It's really building on the the overview tab that we have now, right? And so I love that. Michelle, that I've had a dream of seeing this information kind of come alive.
Yes.
Books Online for a really long time. So I am just absolutely thrilled about this. Yeah.
Yeah. If you think of last year was when they rolled out the overview tab for accountants, and this is just the exponential iteration of that. Just overview was awesome. This is, it almost makes those price increases worth it, right?
I'll tell you what, it really does, honestly, because these things can save us so much time. It's just incredible. And I think that's where, we were just talking about efficiency. The more efficient and the more automated our processes are, the more, accurate and more clients we're able to serve as well. So I think all of these tools are just awesome. And then we got another one to help us with our advisory services. Heather, you want to go ahead and go to the next slide?
This one's amazing.
I know. Oh, this is one more thing I wanted to point out on that bookkeeping review. Under the reconciling accounts, Intuit has talked about this, and it's getting closer and closer and closer. When you see a summary of the accounts that need to be reconciled, look over on the far right, that highlighted column. See where it says statement? They are working and they're getting even better. They had like 70% of the banks in Canada now where they are able to attach the bank statement for you. Yay! No more chasing down our clients and trying to get the bank statement or logging into all of these accounts to get the bank and the credit card statements. Intuit is getting those for us, and they're going to fetch them. They'll just be sitting here for you, ready to reconcile those accounts. So I can't wait for this to be fully rolled out. I think they said it's with, 6 of the largest banks now, or do either of you remember what they said on that?
Yeah, I was too busy jumping up and down in my seat to recall that. But it was definitely a rollout process. Usually, and from my experience, the larger banks first. Like with the new way to connect to the banks, where you don't have to lose your connection all the time. They're rolled out with some larger banks first, and then the smaller, more regional banks. After that. But every financial institution likes to play by their own rules sometimes, and not everyone gets
know. Yeah, but this one's definitely exciting, and so this should be coming soon as well. And again, I have a link here for you in a second where you guys can go listen to Arij, and she talked about some of the timing. Like Dan said, I was so excited I wasn't taking good notes and stuff like that either. So Heather, you want to go ahead and go to the next one? I got to move along so we can get to some of the other stuff. One more.
This was just the first day.
I know, right? This was the first morning, and we got so excited about all this. The other one that she was adding, or the other new tool that they're adding for us, is the business performance overview. You guys, this is awesome. They're going to be bringing KPIs to us within QBOA so we can help provide our client advisory services. So this is just a small glance where you can see it's going to track things, and you're going to get charts and graphs and KPIs as well as comparison to the industry averages. So like on the left here, you can see the gross profit margin, and you can see for the last 12 months, the previous year, as well as in the industry average. And you can see, like if you hover on that, it's going to show you what the numbers are and how you're comparing to the industry average. So right now, on October 2018, we were at 69%. The industry average for the gross margin is only 65%. We're doing better than the industry average. And they have a lot of different ratios here and charts and graphs for us. So it's like a built-in KPI, key performance indicators, and key financial ratios for us, where we can help look at these things and help advise our clients. Like if you see that one green line drop down and, hey, client, your gross profit margin is declining, we need to look at what's going on. So I think this is awesome, especially as we start doing more advisory services. This is going to be a huge benefit without paying for another third-party app for the KPIs and things like that. Heather or Dan, you want to add something on this?
Yeah, no, I think this is fantastic. I mean, it definitely helps us to start that conversation with our clients. And it is an accountant-only feature. I believe they said that it will also be available in QuickBooks Online Advanced as an advanced feature, but they have the Fathom tool already built in. So, you know, that has the same type of functionality as well. But I think this is fantastic. One of the things that I was able to beta test this, and one of the things that I really loved about it was if you hover over the gross profit margin and the net profit margin, it actually gives you a little cheat sheet on what these mean. So some of professionals that are just getting started and are, you know, need to kind of brush up on what these different KPIs actually mean to a small business owner, they're going to have a little bit of a tutorial built right into this feature as well.
Yeah, and this is one of the things where QuickBooks Online is just going to be able to take businesses to the next level, because they're what's the word, it's anonymous data, but they're able to consolidate all of that data across all of their subscribers, right? So you know, it's not there. You know, there's not a breach or anything like that. It's just all anonymous data that they can use as these industry standards. And that's something that desktop, you know, I'm sad to say that desktop is not going to be able to provide in that kind of platform. And this is where, you know, Sasan was saying that, you know, this is where the AI side of QuickBooks is going to be able to make things a lot smoother for everyone and a lot more consolidated, and you know, give you the information that you're looking for.
Right. And you know, mentioning Sasan, Dan, one of the things that I really remember from his keynote was when he said, you know, we've had a lot of changes in technology over the last 3 to 5 years, but compared to what we're going to see over the next 5 years for AI, we haven't seen anything yet. In other words, there's a lot of big, significant impacts coming and changes from the AI. So I think this is a really great ad for us as accounting professionals and a tool for us for consulting with our clients. So I'm really excited about it. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide.
All right.
Thank you. So now here's the list. So here's a picture of Arij talking up on the stage. This is actually from that video, but there's the YouTube link where you can watch that very first Accountant Day main stage session. It's just under an hour, so you can hear Arij demoing all this, and you can see it better than my screenshot and hear everything that she had to say about this. So you can check that out and watch that there. And now I have a very funny, embarrassing thing from QuickBooks Connect to share with you all. So this is one of those once-in-a-lifetime events, right? Go ahead and go to the next slide, Heather.
Before we do,
okay, go ahead.
I don't think you shared Arij's big announcement that she shared about her son.
You're right, I didn't. Do you want to go ahead and share that?
Yeah, well, you can kind of see it. So Arij is expecting her first child. So that was big news. I'm so happy for her. So
I am too.
Yeah.
I am too. That was very exciting. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll question here. So I can launch a poll question. Which new QBOA feature that we just talked about are you most excited about so far? The Optimization Center, the Bookkeeping Review, Business Performance Overview, or all of the above? I got to launch. Sorry. All right, go ahead and click one of those. Which one of those you are the most excited about? And while you're answering that poll question, somebody asked if I could post that link here. I will try to copy and paste that link for you. They're saying it's not clickable. I will work on that for you in just a minute. But while we're doing that, so let me set the stage for you. So my husband works for Hostess, so we're the Twinkie house every year at Halloween, right? So I have like 15 boxes of Twinkies left over from Halloween. So I took a bunch of Twinkies with me to QuickBooks Connect so I could pass them out to people and share them with people and, you know, kind of have fun passing out Twinkies. So in the next slide, you're going to see an amazing screenshot here, or a picture here. So picture this. I got the opportunity, Heather and I both got the opportunity to meet Ashton Kutcher. They do meet and greets, so where you can meet him and get a picture with him. And so anyway, I gave Ashton Kutcher a Twinkie. So that's one of those once-in-a-lifetime things. So whenever I'm at events and like, what's one thing about you that nobody has ever done? I have one now. It is very unique that I don't think anybody has given Ashton Kutcher a Twinkie.
I
He
think you
probably
should put
just
that on
threw
your
it
bio
away.
slide.
Anyway, all right. I'm going to go ahead and share that poll question with you guys. 57% of you said all of these. 22% of you like the bookkeeping review, and then 9% on the other. So awesome. Thank you guys. I'm excited about these features as well. So we really wanted to share those with you today. So there's the picture on the left. There's the Twinkie in his hand going in his jacket pocket.
I wonder if it's still there.
I don't know. There's me with the silliest grin on my face because I was so happy to be meeting Ashton Kutcher. So that was my highlight, I think, of the whole conference. So
Michelle, I have a very similar picture that I popped them into the slides. So we didn't talk about Twinkies or anything, but what I ended up doing was I have this cute little frog stuffed animal, and where did it go? It didn't actually come up. I guess it's not in there. Maybe I'll escape and see if I can come up again. Let me see.
That's right. She had her Cubert in there. She's got this little green Cubert. So, well, we'll get to that slide in a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, we'll get there in a little bit. We'll find it.
Yeah, if you presented and then added it, then the presentation isn't updated, so you'd have to exit
so I can just escape and then represent?
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do that.
Yeah. And somebody says that the audio is not clean, and I apologize about that. I'm in the San Francisco airport right now, and Dan is in a hotel before a meeting that he has, so I am trying to cover up the background noise, so I apologize for that. There she is with her Cubert. So we had great fun meeting Ashton Kutcher and being silly with him as well. So
the look on his face on the right side, the one on the third picture is like, these accountants are nuts.
He did.
I know, right? So after Cubert came the Twinkies.
Right. No, he was he was so humble and so sweet. The way this whole conversation went down was I was walking up and I had forgotten that I had Cubert because I was meeting Ashton Kutcher, and so I wasn't really aware of anything I was doing. And so he said, so in the first picture he's saying, "Who's that?" And I said it was Cubert. I told him the story of Cubert, that it was my daughter's friend made him for me. And then I asked him, the third picture is me saying, "Do you mind if he takes a picture with us?"
So that's something unique too, Heather. Nobody's ever had a picture of Ashton Kutcher with Cubert. So in all seriousness, though, Ashton Kutcher, on the main stage, first of all, he's so down to earth and so humble, and he had so much good comments about, he gets hundreds and hundreds of people wanting to invest in their companies. He's invested in over 200 different companies. He was an early investor in Skype and in Uber and things like that. And so he had great comments about, investing in companies and pitches and things like that. But then he also talked about one of the things that he says is really important. He says that no matter how high you are, like as the CEO or the owner of the company or whatever, the people still need to be able to say, "I don't know." And he said that's how he learned a lot, to say, "I don't know what this technology is. Can you explain it to me? What does this? What's that?" And he said don't think you're so high and mighty that you can't say, "I don't know what that is. Can you explain it to me?" So I thought that was really great. And then he had a lot of good comments.
That was my big takeaway from his talk, is don't be afraid to ask the dumb questions.
Right.
Don't let your ego take over to not be humble enough to ask those questions and learn, and be the dumbest guy in the room so that you can learn, because typically there's someone else there that probably has the same question as letting their ego get in the way.
Exactly. So Dan, you want to go ahead and talk about the new payroll stuff?
Yeah. So I got the opportunity to go to the QSP conference, which was a few days prior to QB Connect. So I was in San Jose the whole week, and they were talking about the new payroll lineup that's coming out. So it's actually available now, and we're going to talk a little bit about the rollout because again, not every they're not going to roll this out all in one fell swoop because that would be horrible. That's probably the easiest way. I did put the link down there for the Firm of the Future for the payroll lineup. It's got all of the frequently asked questions, and when you have a question like what does it mean by same day direct deposit, they'll describe that, or auto payroll. What's that all about? But what's really happening is there's 3 payroll offerings coming out. And they're changing the name just to keep you on your toes. So gone is the day of advanced or enhanced and full service. It's now going to be called Core, Premium, and Elite. Now your QBOA, because you have free payroll, you will have free Elite payroll to be able to try all these features out and potentially recommend that to your client. So the basic gist of the big switch is that whatever was in full service payroll is being transitioned to core, and whatever so premium is a new offering and elite is a new offering. So there really isn't a do-it-yourself payroll option anymore, because that's the way that the market is transitioning to of auto payroll and filing your taxes, your tax payments, and filing your forms for you. So it's really going to be a whole line of new full service payroll options. So the big difference between the two is T-Sheets is now going to be included in the premium and elite. So you don't have to have two subscriptions. Your T-Sheets, and there's going to be new features that are going to be rolled out with that as well, with regards to the T-Sheets and the time tracking capabilities. So let's go to the next slide. So there's so the ability to have auto payroll is going to be in all versions, and what that means is that there's a lot of buts with this, So auto payroll means that as long as all the employees are set up and the company is complete and all employees are salaried employees and they're on direct deposit, the bank's been verified, e-service is set up, they got to be in the same state and not a multi-state company. So that's a set it and forget it, type of thing. You've got all your salaried employees. I still have a question about if you have like one hourly employee and the rest are salary, can you still do auto payroll? I'm still waiting to hear back on that. I would assume that any of your salaried employees will be able to do this auto payroll feature. But once you have them set up, because they are salary, it's just real easy just to say this is their schedule, and then it will automatically run that payroll on such and such a date. So then again, it's a matter of managing the payroll as opposed to running the payroll. So time tracking, T-Sheets again is going to be incorporated into the payroll fees and service fees, and we'll get to what those fees actually look like in a future slide. But it's going to be built into the whole ecosystem. And then automated tax and forms, payments and filings are only available for state and federal taxes. Obviously, you have to be enrolled in these services. Local taxes is only available. Local taxes is only available in the, I think it's premium. Yeah, premium and elite only. So if you do have local taxes, core, wouldn't be available for you. But you're not going to be able to pay. It's not going to auto pay those either way. So you'll still have to pay them outside of the payroll system for local taxes, because I'm originally from Pennsylvania and I know there's way too many local jurisdictions to have all of those incorporated into the payroll system. So next slide. Went the wrong way.
Did I go the wrong way?
Yeah. There we go. So the big difference, or the big benefit, is with the Elite payroll service. There is a tax penalty free guarantee. So this is a little bit different than what they were offering before. Right? Like if Intuit made a mistake, like they didn't submit a tax payment in time, or a form didn't get filled out in time, and it was Intuit's fault for not doing that, they would, take care of the penalties and interest and things. With the Elite payroll, it's the tax penalty free. It doesn't matter who made the mistake. If I didn't run payroll, and then of course I forgot to pay, Intuit at that point wouldn't have paid your taxes, and then you run payroll later, and things of that nature. As long as you let them know within 15 days if you get a tax notice, doesn't matter who it is, who made the mistake, Intuit will cover that up to $25,000, regardless of who made it. And that's a big win and different from any other payroll service offering that's out there. And then there's other things like HR and benefits, and there's lots of things that are being rolled out as part of this new payroll offering. Michelle, what you were saying?
Yeah, Deanne, we had a couple of questions about, is this QBO only, or are these changes being applied to desktop, or are there changes for desktop payroll?
Yeah, they're QBO first. So these things are being rolled out in the payroll for QBO, and new customers can get it now, and then existing customers is going to be rolled out. And I think it's on the next slide, actually. Yeah, so November for new companies, and then they'll be migrating early 2020, and they're going to go least to most complex. So if you are saying, well, my client has X, and it's pretty bodacious, expect that to be on the tail end of that kind of migration. But yeah, it is only QBO. We did try to hammer down when is this going to roll out to desktop. Their lips were sealed on that. So, okay. But I'm sure there are going to be other, as these features are available, like the tax penalty free guarantee. I think some of those features, this is just me saying anything that I heard or can confirm or deny. I believe that, those kinds of features will be added to desktop payroll and their assisted full service option that they have in desktop.
Okay. And Dan, we have, just to clarify, so there's no longer an option to run payroll yourself to manually schedule the tax payments in the e-file form. That's gone now. Is that correct?
Yeah, you won't need to. You'll still have to run payroll if you have an hourly employee. So time entry employees, you're still going to have to initiate the payroll, but everything after that, paying the taxes, filing the forms, you won't have to do if you're in core, premium, or elite. So there's the pricing here. So go ahead.
Well, no, so just one more clarification. We had another question. So will the existing free time tracking go away, or will they still have access to that?
A lot of these questions about the migration will probably be answered in the coming months and weeks, as they begin to start to migrate those companies. We don't know what we're going to experience.
Okay.
Your free time tracking. You mean the time tracking inside of QBO?
Yes, within QBO.
That'll still be there, because if you're on core, T-Sheets is not included. So the core level only has, the bare full service payroll type of thing without T-Sheets. So that time entry is still going to be there. Those time entry screens aren't going to change, and you'll still be able to use them just like you can today when you're integrating with T-Sheets as well. So that functionality won't go away. So,
and then Brent had another question. He says, we won't have to do the filing ourselves, but can we? So filing the forms and the taxes, can we do that if needed for hourly employees?
Well, the only thing you need to do for hourly employees is run the payroll. As far as filling out, filing the forms, I'm trying to think of what the current situation is today.
Well, so today, you had the option of you do the tax filings and tax forms monthly or quarterly or annually, depending on the filing status and stuff. You had the option to do that versus if you went with the full service payroll, Intuit would do those for you. So you're saying, though, that we don't have the option to do it ourselves at all. Intuit's going to do the filings and the tax payments.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would remain consistent, with that experience. Someone else asked, would be able to designate the payroll tax payment requirements. Yeah, that's all part of the onboarding process with regards to these new payroll offerings. And with Core, Premium, Elite, it goes a little bit more in detail or in depth as far as what Intuit is going to help you on board with.
Okay. And then one more question, and then we probably should move on. And I can see there's a lot of questions about this. Maybe we need to have a payroll product manager come on with this and do a webinar on payroll and the changes. Because Kathy said on the taxes, is then Intuit impounding those taxes each payroll, or are they going to take them out a couple of days before the due date, like a monthly total or something?
Yeah, assisted payroll with desktop does that per paycheck. For payroll run, they impound the taxes. Currently, full service payroll does it when it's due. So that can have an impact. If payment doesn't go through properly, I'm sure all of us on the call could probably talk of horror stories of where people were locked out of payroll because there was an NSF charge for these services. Obviously they don't want that to happen, because if you can't even run payroll, now any of these features are null and void because you're not running payroll at all.
Right.
So, they would want to alleviate that, I would think, but I don't know the specifics if they're going to impound when the payroll's run or not, but that's a good call out.
Heather, any comments or anything before we move on to another topic?
Not really. I mean,
I know
think
there's still a lot of questions. But
yeah, there are a lot of questions. I mean, it's
Yeah, anytime there's a huge change like this and a migration, I mean, even just going from Intuit Online Payroll when they migrated the login, I mean, that was a long process. And some people were kind of hung up in that migration. But once the dust settles, I think it's going to be best or better for those using the payroll service, and it's competitive, and it takes on almost like a leapfrog over what people are currently doing in the marketplace. All right,
okay, and Dan and I will try to get a payroll product manager to come on and do a QB Power Hour with us, so we can talk about some of the new changes and answer some of your all's many questions. So,
and Michelle from Intuit is actually on the webinar, and she's going to help us trying to get a product manager for a future session. Awesome.
Perfect. Thank you, Michelle. All right. So let's go ahead and move on from this topic, and we'll revisit it. It sounds like we need a whole webinar on it. So we'll work that out and let you all know when that's coming.
All right. Next slide. Okay. Who wants to take this one? So the breakout sessions. Michelle,
I couldn't hear you for just. Oh. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you for just a minute. So yeah, you can go ahead and talk about this if you want to.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get to see as many breakout sessions as I wanted to. I could really only get them in on the last day. But I saw a little bit of Heather's, and I saw a little bit of I saw the whole thing of Matt Fulton's about the custom fields that you can do in QuickBooks Online Advanced, and you wouldn't think that 4 fields would make a huge difference, but he talked about these fields for 2 hours. and the things that you can actually do with these custom fields now, he loves these custom fields because it saves him so much more time. And they're on, not exactly on par with enterprise, but they have the ability to select a different type. So drop down fields, now that opens up a whole idea of sales reps, and eliminates the free text field that's currently available in QuickBooks Online with custom fields. The mismatch between that, and if you use a date or a number field, you have reporting that can be filtered greater than, less than, and you can select from the actual date rather than typing in the date, and making typo errors. If somebody uses a dash as opposed to a slash in a free text field. So I wanted to see this one, and this was a great breakout. He does have I think a video also on this as well, about some of the custom field and the application of that. Now, Michelle, you had a couple. Did you have just one session that you spoke in?
Yeah, so thank goodness. Yeah, right. I only had one this year. It was awesome because I got to go to a lot of breakout sessions. But the session that I did was on apps and automation for your firm. And we talked about, all the different apps that are available. So we talked about the benefits of automating and standardizing our workflow and our processes. And like when clients come to us, if they're using something other than QuickBooks, like you wouldn't go to the dentist or your mechanic and tell them what tools to use to do their job. So we shouldn't let our clients tell us what tools to use to do our job, So if they don't use QuickBooks, then maybe they're not the right client for us. If they won't let us hook up their bank accounts to download those transactions, maybe they're not right client for us. And we talked about, various apps and different functional business functions, different areas where you can automate the workflow, which streamlines the work for your client as well as for us. And so that one was a really popular one. We probably had over 100 some people in there. It was sold out, like they had to quit letting people in because it was so full. So it was a great session. But then I went to some other really good sessions, and I wanted to let people know I went to 2 different sessions on QuickBooks Live. They had like a day in the life at QB Live, and they also was one on growing with QuickBooks Live. And it was really exciting for me to learn more about that, to hear the questions that I had and others had, and to talk with them in the booth and stuff. So I would encourage you guys, I'm getting ready to do, working on a session for the December VCon, possibly the January VCon as well. I'm going to do like a 1-hour session on QuickBooks Live. There's opportunities for us, accounting professionals, in certain situations. This might be great for us. Like if you're just starting your firm and you want some additional income and you want to work between 20, 30 hours a week, you can do that. So you're going to get training and all kinds of, help and assistance to help you grow and experience while you're working on starting your own firm or something. Or maybe you've decided, you want to quit working and be home with the kids, but you still want to do a little something, so you could sign up and work 20, 30 hours a week. And so anyway, it's a great opportunity from the right people. There were a lot of accountants saying, how can I outsource my bookkeeping to QuickBooks Live? And they haven't really thought about that and worked that out yet. They said they're hearing that from a lot of people. So that's something they're kind of wanting to look into. But I'll be going into more in-depth on that with, like I said, on the VCon and things like that. So you guys can watch me on social and follow and watch for that. Love to have you join me for those sessions. And then the other session that I didn't get to go to, but I really wanted to, Ron Baker was, he's the god of value pricing, and he's been talking about value pricing for years. And he had a session on how we need to start looking at subscription pricing as opposed to value pricing. So selling subscriptions like for our bookkeeping and payroll services. And I didn't get to attend that session. I don't know, Heather, did you possibly attend it?
I'm sorry, did I send what?
The session by Ron Baker, did you get to attend his? It sounds like maybe not.
I did not get a chance to.
Okay.
I actually taught 4 sessions, so I didn't get a lot of time to attend other sessions, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Well, it looks like a couple of our attendees attended it, so I would love to hear what they have to say. But talking about the breakout sessions, one thing that I want to make sure everybody is aware of, and I will get the links and post them for you in the QB Power Hour Facebook group later today. I'll try to get this done for you. But CPA Academy, they recorded some of the breakout sessions. I believe Mark Wickersham's on pricing. I believe it was one of the breakout sessions that they recorded this year, and those will be available live from CBA Academy for self-study. So I'll try to get that link and share that with you. So that you can see that. And somebody says, have you totally abandoned Hector on value pricing? No, I haven't. I just like to hear new ideas and new pricing ideas for our profession, because hourly pricing totally does not work. So no, I haven't abandoned Hector and value pricing, but for the monthly bookkeeping services, a subscription pricing might make more sense than trying to value price those things. So I wanted to hear Ron's thoughts and see what he had to say about that. So you guys want to go ahead and go to the next section or page? Sorry.
Yeah.
Heather, you did quite a few brain dates, didn't you? Do you want to talk about this?
I did a brain date. I only did one. Well, I hosted one brain date. I attended one brain date, and what I heard from the attendees was that this was amazing. That people were able to make really great connections, either to find help from other practicing accountants, or they were able to lend their expertise to other fellow accountants. And so I did a Zapier brain date on the first day, and we were only supposed to have 4 people sign up, but I ended up with like 8 people. So it was fantastic, and we just kind of shared our knowledge about the topic, shared resources, and I think one of them actually is attending my session, my Zapier workshop. So that was great for me. And what I found was a lot of our on the main day where the small businesses attended, a lot of accounting professionals were able to pick up some clients that needed help with certain, expertise that they were able to provide. So I heard tons and tons of great feedback. And the way that the brain dates worked is the brain date technology was embedded into the app. And so you were able to post a topic saying, hey, I want to meet one-on-one or with a group to discuss a particular topics such as Zapier or value pricing or inventory in QuickBooks, and then other attendees would be able to view all of the potential brain date topics and then select a time to meet with you. And then they have this really, really nice area set up with couches and tables where you would go and check in for your brain date, and you'd spend 30 minutes just connecting and learning. I know, Dan, you did a couple brain dates, right?
Yeah, I was a little late to the brain date party, and my brain date didn't turn out so well because I did it on a non-accountant day, and my audience was really with bookkeeping and accountant. So I actually had a couple small businesses join my brain date, so they really weren't the right audience. But you only had like 100 characters to put in what your topic was all about. So it was a learning experience. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. No, it was great. I'm looking forward to it. I hope they do something similar again next year, because I think that did open up a lot of opportunities, additional networking opportunities to the entire event.
Mm-hmm. So go on to the next slide. What
Sure.
do we got next? So the keynote speakers, one of the things about QuickBooks Connect that I really like is the different caliber and the different breadth of keynote speakers that they bring in. This Michael McQueen, he spoke after a Reg on the accountant day. He put up some pretty creepy statistics. I think I shared one on Facebook about it won't be long before Alexa will be able to predict troubled marriages because it's actively listening to what goes on in the house. I said that to my wife, and she's like, I'm throwing them all away now. But that's kind of one of the things it's a double-edged sword with the technology that we live in today. And that was really interesting. What do you guys think about some of the keynote speakers that we have?
Yes. Well, and the other thing I liked about Michael McQueen, too, he talked about a lot of brands that are no longer around anymore because they didn't change and they didn't adapt, and how they're gone now. So I really, I loved his. So if you all listen to that Reg main stage, she's like the first half hour, and then you'll get the opportunity to hear Michael McQueen after that. So he had some very interesting insights for us as well. Let's go ahead and go to that next one quick because we are kind of running short on time here. One thing I wanted to comment, Jade Simmons, she's in that upper left picture there. She was amazing. When I heard we were going to have a classical pianist, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not my cup of tea, right? She was incredible, and she talked a lot about being your own maverick and doing things your way. And so she would like combine her classical pianist, you know, the classical songs from the piano with, you know, she would put like African drum beats in the background, or she'd put hip hop beat in the background. And I mean, it was just incredible what she did. I actually I did video a few snippets, like 15, 20 seconds here and there. I'll post those in the Power Hour group so you can kind of hear. But I loved how she talked about don't be what other people expect you to be. Be who you are. And so I thought she was really great. What were some of your guys' thoughts on the rest of them, or any of them?
Yeah, with Jade, I mean, the thing that I took away from that was that, you know, don't be a minority, be the standout. You know, use what other people put you down for to be what sets you apart. And it's really just a big, almost like a paradigm shift of thoughts. Yeah, so that she was great and very powerful. I think of all of the keynote speakers, she kind of spoke to me the most.
Yeah. I really liked Sasan's story. He was talking about the story of his daughter and how she's a basketball player, and she had trained as a child, trying to get into Division I basketball and didn't make it right out of high school. And so the whole tone of his keynote was perseverance. You know, that if you don't, you know, achieve your goal, you can't stop. You have to keep going. And so that really spoke to me.
I couldn't agree more, Heather. And one of the things I would like to point out to everyone, if you go to like the Intuit Accountants YouTube page, or if you Google if you Google on YouTube, or if you search on YouTube for QuickBooks Connect main stage speakers, they usually record those and have those posted on YouTube. I'm not sure if they're out there this year, but I would go check those out because there were so many amazing speakers. We can't do it justice in a few minutes on our webinar.
Yeah, definitely watch it.
Add something? Yeah, and so I'm launching a poll question because a lot of you went to these events with us and went to QuickBooks Connect. So what did you like most about QuickBooks Connect? Go ahead and answer what your favorite was, and let us know. And if you did not attend, that's okay. Let us know. You might want to plan on trying to attend next year. I would sign up and watch for the early bird pricing. And Intuit does a fabulous job of helping people. Like, they have shuttle buses taking you to and from the airports to the hotels and things. So they make it super easy for you. A lot of people want to share rooms with one another. So I'd love to have you guys join us next year if you can. So I thought that would be great if you can. And also one more comment before we finish up here is Dan and I are talking about possibly moving or changing the timing of QB Power Hour. So we wanted to get your feedback. What do you think? Like, what if we would move it to a Tuesday or a different time on Thursdays? So we wanted to get your feedback on that, Tuesday or Wednesday. So we didn't get a chance to do the poll question in here today, but what we'll do is we'll put that poll question in the QB Facebook group, and we'll probably ask it on our next webinar as well. Somebody's saying, how do I sign up for early bird pricing? Kate, if you go to qbconnect.com, they probably have a link there where you can put your name to be notified and be find that out again. And this is great, Heather. You'll love this. Michael said, just don't be at the same. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, you just pre-register on QuickBooksConnect.com, and then that gets you into the to be automatically updated once the changes are made or announcements are made.
Right. So I love this one here. Michael just says, don't be at the same time as the QB happy hour. So Heather, we got to make sure we coordinate with your schedule and don't conflict with that. So I think that's great. Yeah, and somebody else said they would love it if we had a break between the power hours and Hector's advanced webinar, because otherwise it's like 3 hours of training without a break. And so that's, that's all part of our consideration. So watch for that poll, though, in the Facebook group. We'd love to have your comments there. And Heather, you want to go ahead and go to the next slide? I don't think really I'll have anything else here. But just a reminder that the next one, so we go every other Thursday, our next one is Thanksgiving. We hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family, and we'll see you then in the 2 weeks after that in December. And again, if you would like to join Heather and I for the QB training events, we're still doing core and advanced certification. I say Heather and I, but there's a whole group of us trainers. We're doing training events all the way through December. So go check that out at qbtrainingevents.com. We'd love to have you join us for that. And I do want to say thank you all for joining us today. And Heather, thank you for being a special guest and joining us in your jammies. We're both jealous of that.
Well, thank you so much, Dan and Michelle, for having me on. And it was so awesome to hang out with you guys last week. And Michelle, I can't wait to see you in just a couple weeks.
Yes. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Dan. Hope everybody has a great day and a great weekend. And we will talk to you all soon.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed listening to the QB Power Hour podcast. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in our Facebook group. You can find those resources and much more at qbpowerhour.com.